Hello, this is Claudia Orengo from heartmade.es, and in this video I want to share with you the tools I use to record online trainings, video tutorials like this one, and anything that is video recording courses, etc. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how I take my notes. So before I started using just any text editor. I used the text editor from Mac or a Google Drive Docs, or sometimes I even still use a notebook if I need to quickly take some notes. But lately, I'm always using Notion. I really love Notion. I'm gonna show you how it looks. So basically, I have a list of YouTube topics that I brainstorm. And for example, I think this is the one that we are doing. I could go here inside and take some notes, saying first I'll talk about the notes, then about the slides, etc. Or I could turn even this into a page, turn into page. And then if I click here, I can add here anything I need. Like I can add images, I can add links for the reference, etc. So I find it super handy, and that's what I use. Let me go down, and yeah, I'll redo this later. But if I change this into to-do list as it was, what I can do now, when I finish it, it's click, and now it's checked. Like this has been done. Let's move to another one. So I find this super handy, and for all my trainings, I tend to have this in my second screen, which I have to the left, and I'm sharing the screen on the right, and just, reading from one, sharing from the other, so that not everyone will see my notes. Coming back to the presentation, let's talk about slides. I always use the same branding. That's something I started years ago, and you will see that I always use the same fonts, which are my brand fonts, and then I use like a border background with a very colorful pattern design made from my own illustrations, and then the white area for the text. I think this is very important because then people recognize my slides and they know it's part of my trainings. Sometimes if I share the screen, obviously there will be no design, and if I'm speaking, most of the time I don't have any border or anything, I'm just recording myself. But anytime I need slides, I will follow the same aesthetic to be cohesive throughout my brand. Then how do I design them? I always design them in InDesign, and I'm going to show you because right now, let's go to this point and then I'll show you. Sometimes I export it as PDF, but sometimes, like right now, I'm directly presenting from here. Just pressing Shift and W on my keyboard, it pops up this screen as if it was a presentation. But then if I click Escape, I'm going back to InDesign. And here you can see, let me press W and you'll see all the real content, like the margins. This is editable text, this also. And what I do is I create what they call a master page, in which if I were to add here a text that said heartmade.es, and I want to go to all the pages that have this template A, you'll see it always shows here. So this is amazing because I can edit it only once, and let's say I want to make this centered and I want to use my text style. I can quickly do this here once, and then all the pages have applied. Coming back to this, as you saw, with just one click coming to paragraph styles, I changed the font and the size. This is because I saved it as my titles and my text style. so I can quickly switch from one to the other, and it makes my life much easier. So let's delete this, go back to the presentation. I'm gonna go back to Command W and continue presenting. So this is how I design my slides with InDesign. I know many people use Canva, and although I'm starting to like it for some things, I honestly think it's so limited, and I'm even sad that it exists at some point, because it's making design too simple. Like, design has so many options, like what I showed you right now. And there are so many other features in Canva, in InDesign, in Photoshop, in Illustrator, that you cannot do with Canva. And by limiting the options, it seems like any extra, it's not necessary, and I don't think that's true. But anyway, that's another story. So I use InDesign, and I really love all the Adobe apps. Let's talk about the cover design. So if I'm using slides like here, I'll design and export it from here. So as you saw, the first was the cover. I'll export this as a JPEG directly from InDesign, and I'll use this for, the cover of my training. But if the video has no slides, usually I don't need to open a new InDesign document, so I tend to design them in Photoshop. Here you can see 2 examples. But again, you see how I always use the same aesthetic and the same branding. My font, combination of 2 fonts, a background with one of my patterns, and then sometimes I'm combining it with an image that represents what this video is about. Okay, let's talk about recording. So I most of the time record through QuickTime. Right now I'm recording through QuickTime. I have 3 options on QuickTime. One is to only record the sound, the other is to record your screen, and the last one is to record a video which will connect with your camera. Usually I use the screen sharing because I have slides or I want to guide you through my screen. But sometimes, especially when I need to record my face, I use Zoom. And let me show you why I love this. Here we have Zoom. So if I click start and I'm on a meeting, hi, this is me right now. I can come here to the video and go to video settings. You see here, touch up my appearance. If I uncheck it or I take it down, it will, let's see if you can see it here. You can see all my freckles, but then if I touch on my appearance, it's like a beauty filter. So I tend to have this at some point, and I really like it, and I think even the color is better on Zoom. So when I have to record myself or when I do live presentations in which there is people here, I would come, click record, and this will record either to my computer or the cloud, and then I can export it and edit it as normal. So let's go out of Zoom. This was all about recording, and now editing, which is the last step. So if I just need to cut one piece, like let's say I need to take out the first seconds or the last seconds of the recording because I was silent, just, reading through my notes or whatever, I would use QuickTime because it has the trim option, it's quite easy, and that's it. But then if I need long edits, like cutting pieces in between, reorganizing the order, or adding images, etc., usually, or for a long time, I would say, I used iMovie. It was free, it was integrated on my Mac. Also QuickTime, it's part of the Mac apps, so I wasn't using any paid tools. And it served the purpose I needed. But then a few months ago, I invested in Filmora, and I'm happy I did. I paid for this app, and although I'm not using all the options, I'm gonna share with you my favorite one and the reason why I decided to move to Filmora. So this is how Filmora works. You can create a new project or import one, but let me show you from one of the last presentations I've done. What I can do here, so I can cut, I can separate the voice if I want, I can add images. These are things that I can also do with iMovie. But one thing I really, really love from Filmora, and you cannot do it in iMovie, it's I can select the video, come here and decide if I want this to be slower or faster. Usually I go to fast and I multiply it by 2, then it changes to red so I can quickly see which ones are at normal speed and which ones are at quicker speed. And what I do is I import all my video here, I turn it into a 2x speed, and then I would listen through it to find out the times that I need to, you know, take out or cut or whatever. And this, as you can imagine, cuts my time into half. Like, instead of, let's say, a video of 10 minutes, it would take me around 20 minutes to edit. Now with this, because I can listen to a much faster speed, I can edit it much faster. So I really, really love this. I listen myself quicker, I edit the parts that I don't need, and then when I'm done, I just come back here and go back to normal, and this changes the speed again to normal, and I can export the video. And this is the feature that I use the most and I love about Filmora, but they have many other things like transitions, they allow you to add titles, effects, etc., and it's much more robust than iMovie. Of course, it's not free, so that's why for a while, many years, I didn't pay for any extra tool, but now I find these totally worth the cost. So yeah, I'm gonna add the link for you in the description in case you want to check it out. So this was it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this useful. Let me know in the comments, give it a like, subscribe if you want to get more tips about design, about running a creative business, etc. And if you want to continue watching my tutorials, you can find my free videos on YouTube at YouTube Heartmade Design. And you can find all my online trainings, which are paid classes, at heartmade.es/masterclasses. Here you have a preview of some of them, but there are many more. So yeah, I hope you get in touch with me through the comments, follow me on YouTube. This really helps me. Give a like to the video so it can be viewed by more people. And I'll see you in the next video.